Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel here at We Are Tottenham TV for the pre-match pump up between Monaco and Tottenham. And I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone because I don't know where you're watching from in the world, but welcome everybody. And today we have, as per usual, an eclectic panel of guests with all different experiences of Tottenham Hotspur, and I'll introduce you to them one by one. Chang, a very early good morning to you. I think it's about 1:30 in the morning for you out in Malaysia at the moment.
Yes, that's correct, Senor Garcia. It's already a Thursday morning here in Southeast Asia. It's a beautiful Thursday morning. Absolutely cannot wait for our match to get underway. And without further ado, I think it's straight back to you.
And Dermot over at the Emerald Isle, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm grand. Thanks again for having me on. Love coming on to these pump-ups with either you or Kate and Jim. So, yeah, it's always a privilege to come on We Are Tottenham TV, such a mainstay in Tottenham YouTube history. And to be on here quite regularly is quite an honour. So, yeah, thanks for having me on again. Really privileged. And as well with three great panellists as well with Ash and the gentleman above me and yourself, Jose. But, yeah, I'm fine.
And Ash, the man. How are you, Ash?
Big up, man. Listen, I'm with Chan, you know when you used to be boxing, for me as a kid, it used to be wrestling. I used to have to wait up until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning to maybe watch a Mike Tyson fight, maybe watch Triple H versus The Rock, Steve Austin. There's those type of vibes. You get excited, you get energized for a game. I really feel it. Big up Dermot, obviously. I know he's going to come down soon. He's going to come check us. Big up the Irish Army over there. But yeah, man, it's just good to see you guys. Big up the chat as always. I was expected to see Kate and Jim. I was like, bro, what's going on? Where's the people? But you know what? We're all one big Spurs family right now. And these are the nights we look forward to, man. Champions League, football matches. This is where we belong. So I'm looking forward to tonight, man.
Yeah, for everybody, Kate is away today. And while Kate's away, that we are allowed to play, and I normally get asked to host in case absence, and I was asked if I'd do today, and I've agreed that I would do today. And the panel was all decided for me, so I knew who was coming, and I was happy to see you all here. But alas, we need to talk about tonight's game, Monaco versus Tottenham, that's being played in the Principality, and the kickoff is an hour and 22 minutes away. What are your expectations for tonight, Chang?
I just want us to avoid defeat if there's any consolation after Sunday's defeat. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still feel that we put in a proper shift on Sunday. It's just those two strikes by Villa were the defining moments in the game. And for me, I think we are getting there as far as scoring and creating chances. I think we hit the upright or even the woodwork more than once on multiple occasions on Sunday. We might even see a little bit of that today, either by the home team or the away team. That remains to be seen. But if anything, Jose, I would very much love us to avoid a second consecutive defeat in all competitions. For me, anything more than a point away on our travels today, especially against Ajax back in Amsterdam, would be a big bonus for us. So yeah, my expectations are, if at all possible, let's just avoid defeat today, put in a proper shift, and fingers crossed, no more new injuries, no more niggles, no more concerns, or even suspensions, given how threadbare thin we are with our attacking options up front are at the moment. So yeah, those are my expectations, Jose. As always, pleasure to be back here on the pre-match pump-up with your good self and Mr. Dermot, the Dermatron, and also Mr. Ashmatic there. Absolutely looking forward to the rest of the show, and without further ado, it's back to you, Senor Garcia.
Ash, for you, mate, have you done your deep dive on Monaco?
To be fair, no, not really. I know briefly I watched the City game. That was the last time I watched Monaco.
Yeah.
And they relatively like to do short build-up, short passes, play close to each other. We know about some of their danger men because we're linked with one of them in Al Khalouch. I'm sure we'll get into that later. Ansu Fati, we also saw at Brighton from his loan from Barcelona. And the other guy, Minamino, he used to play at Liverpool. At Monaco, he's quite a handful. So those are the main threats. I don't really know too much about their striker, but last season he was bang on form. Balogun as well. We know he's an Arsenal lad. But apart from that, yeah, they are a team that like to play with possession. So I do expect them to have a lot of the ball today. And when Spurs are away, I would like to see more transitional football, more counter-attacking football from Spurs. I think that's something that could suit our play, especially away from home. The thing is like when we play bigger teams, we see the best of Spurs. For example, Man City, when we play PSG, those are the type of performance I think Spurs really showed its best work at, especially for Thomas Frank. But it's those teams that are somewhere in between where I think we don't quite get the chemistry right, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that changes slightly today in terms of who we play with. I know the lineup's going to come out real soon, so I'll just hope there is a change in that midfield. I don't know if I can touch on that so soon, but I do like to see just a bit of freshness in that midfield because we've got Bentancur and Paulinho. Everyone said they're very similar in profiles. They play a 4-2-3-1 for what I know, so it's very similar to what we do with our double pivots, the two kind of defensive type of midfielders. I'm hoping that we go for a midfielder that would like to carry the ball a bit more, and we've got three in those in Archie Gray, Bergval, and Sarr. So we've got three options there. So then I think the balance would suit a lot better if you've got one that sits, one that carries, and then you've got Xavi Simons, who is more of a 10, but can also play as a left-sided 8 if needed be. And he can also help with the progression of ball if he drops a little bit deeper, similar to what Madison did, in my opinion. So I think if I don't expect wholesale changes from Frank, but a few tweaks could definitely benefit us in the way we play with the ball, especially when we're trying to build up rather than going side to side, or some people call it horseshoe hotspur. You know what I'm saying? That U shape that everyone's been seeing floating around on the gram. Maybe a few tweaks in the midfield. And I suggested one other thing as well, and we could talk about it, but I wouldn't mind if one of the wingers tucked in and inverted, we talk about fullbacks inverted. What if one of the wingers inverted and allowed one of the fullbacks to have a free run at the other fullback? Do you know what I mean? To kind of overlap in that way. So just a few things I'm running through my mind, but yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see how we approach this game.
Dermot, what's your view on the Monaco game?
Look, no easy game in the Champions League. We all know that. We have only beaten Monaco once in the last 4 games with them in Europe, twice in the Champions League. They're actually unbeaten against us in the Champions League. We've only beaten them once, and that was in the Europa League. I know it was a while ago. I agree with a lot with what Ash is saying. I really do. I think there has to be changes. I went with the change in my midfield. I actually went for the 4-1-2-3. So I put Paulinho as the 6, and I played Sarr and Bergville together in the midfield as 2 8s. I think something has to change there. But I think the main problem is our attack. We're so toothless when we're going forward. It doesn't matter who you put into that front 3 or that number 9, they're not going to score. And that's the job, is to score goals. So it does put pressure on our midfielders to score the goals for us. And I think Bergville and Saab, for me, will get the goals tonight. Then they say a Bentancur and Paulinho as a double pivot, because then you have got no creativity in the midfield. And I just want to see a slight improvement. I thought we were unlucky against Villa. I didn't think we were that bad. Looking back at the game, yes, it was frustrating, but Villa weren't great either. And I think it was a 50-50 game. It could have gone our way, but it didn't. But look, I want tonight. I want a good win. I want a comfortable win as well. I want them to come out, be confident, and to be up for the fight and show they mean business. And I think we can do it. Monaco are not the biggest team in Europe, and they're in crisis themselves. Change the manager, not doing that well in the French league. So, tonight could be a good chance to build confidence tonight, I think.
Yeah, you're right on touching upon. We've played Monaco 5 times. And the reading's not good because in the 5 games that we've played, Monaco have won 3, Tottenham have won 1, and we've drawn 1. So they've definitely got the sign over us, or they have had previously. Yet we haven't played Monaco for 9 years. We last played them in the Champions League, and we lost both games home and away 2-1. And prior to that, we played them the season before in the Europa League, and we beat them at home 4-1. So Monaco's not been a happy hunting ground for Tottenham.
Also, as well, sorry to cut you, bro. Arsenal struggled at Monaco, and Man City drew with them in their last game 2-2. However, I feel like Man City outplayed them, and I think they were lucky to get a point there. But they haven't had too many wins on the road in the Champions League stage for this season. So they're looking to get some points on the board. They've got a point, but they need to get some more points. So there's a bit of pressure on their side as well. But I think that might bode well for us if they come at us, for example, and they're going to leave space in behind, and I think that might suit some of our attackers depending on what players we go for. But yeah, sorry.
That's okay. It's all right. We've got a young. Well, the lineups haven't come out yet. People keep asking the question, but they haven't come out as yet. The lineups. Monaco on Sunday drew 1-1 away to Angers, and there'll be a fella that was looking forward to playing us, but will not now be in their team tonight because I think he's out injured at the moment. He's not suspended; he's actually out injured. The line-out is out. Okay, let me go and refresh it again. Then, if someone says the line-out's out, let me have a look. Okay, so I can't see the line-out at the moment on Spurs official. I'll keep checking, and it's not there. Yeah, so there was the fella that was due to play against us. What's that on? That's not on Spurs official, though, is it?
It's not on Spurs official, but it's on the William Hill betting app.
I'm not a gambler.
It's
sorry.
actually on the Champions League website as well. The lineups are. Do you want me to give them to you?
Yeah, go on. Tell us what the lineup is.
It's Vicario in goal. We've got Danson, Van der Ven, Pedro Porro, and Archie Gray. I can't see Spence. We've got Bergville. I just go from top to bottom, trying to work out where they're playing. We've got Vicario, Danso, Palunia, Richarlison, Gray, Bergville, Kudus, Porro, Odegaard, Bentancur, and Mickey van der Ven, and he is captain. On the bench, we've got Kingsky, Austin, Simmons, Johnson, Spence, Sarr, Colo, Scarlett, Ulesi, Byfield, and Williams Barnett. So that is the team.
I've got it now. It's come out on Spurs official, so I'll share it with everyone.
Please say we're playing in yellow. I love that yellow kit, by the way.
So Vicario in goal. I'm trying to work it out. So you've got Vicario in goal. Gray. Who's the other fullback?
I think we're playing 3 at the back by the looks of it.
Interesting.
Odegaard, Kudus, Richarlison.
Yeah, Danso, Van der Ven, Gray, Paulinho, Bentancur. So yeah, maybe it is. That's Gray's fullback. Is Gray fullback?
Maybe Pedro Porro. That means that would make him left fullback, Gray, wouldn't it? Because Pedro Porro's there.
Yeah. So Gray left back, Danso right centre back, Van der Ven left side of centre back, Porro right back, Paulinho, Bentancur. Am I reading the right one? Paulinho, Bentancur, and then Bergvall, Odegaard, Richarlison, Kudus. Is that right?
It's a 4-2-3-1. That's what he's done. He's gone with the same sort of lineup and the same sort of. I think Gray's come in for Spence. Yeah, and Bergville's come in for he's playing in the 10 role for instead of Simmons. Just a few changes from the Villa game.
Yeah.
He's gone strong then. He's definitely gone strong. He's gone strong, and then the subs bench.
It's an interesting lineup.
Kingsky, Austin, Xavi, Johnson, Spence, Sarr, Colomwani, Scarlett, Oluwasi, Byfield, Williams, Barnett. That is your lineup. What is it? From your lineup, what are you guys thinking then? I mean, we're trying to
share it, Jose.
Did I not share it?
No, you haven't got it. That's why I was looking for it.
Yeah. Oh, I pressed share. Why didn't it share?
You should be able to see it as well if you share it as well on your screen. I can see it now. I've got it up now.
Share. Let me try it again.
Yeah, so Mwani's on the bench, Xavi's on the bench, so it's a strong bench as well. Sar's on the bench. I thought Sar might start today, but I guess Bergvall in the 10 or in the 10 role, I think he's going for that combative midfielder.
I mean, Ash, look, can I ask you a question, right? Well,
Yeah,
Joe is getting the lineup. Do you know, when you played Sarr in that 10 role, I think he's been very good in that 10 role, but does Bergvall offer you something different? Is he playing more of an 8 than a 10? So you've got the 2 6s, then Bergvall's an 8. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, do you know what's interesting? Because he said that he's played as a 10, Bergvall himself, and he said like that's a role that he's learning and he's enjoying, and he sees himself compared to last season, he was playing more of an 8 role. Now he's more of a 10. But I just think in terms of physicality, maybe that's what he's seen in terms of Bergvall, because he's quite tall, isn't he? He's not obviously physically like a specimen like that, but in terms of winning the ball back, he puts himself about. And I thought with Xavi, I thought the forward passing, because I thought that was a bit of an issue in our last game. I thought we'd see more forward passes from Xavi getting on the ball. And I know that when Bergvall's on the ball, he does like to drop deep times to collect the ball. He won't just stay up top with the other front three. Sarr, I think, plays a little bit different to Bergvall, and that's Bergvall will carry the ball, whereas I think Sarr runs into the spaces a little bit more than what Bergvall does. Bergvall can do that; he can run into the spaces, but I think the difference between the two is one carries and the other one doesn't carry as well. But I think with Sarr, going back to your point, Sarr is a player that can shoot. He's a player that, like, on site, he will take a shot. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the slight differences between the two. Stylistically, when you watch them, like you're looking at the eye test, like Bergvall looks a lot more silky on the ball. Do you know what I mean?
He does.
He takes a lot more touches on the ball. And I think when sometimes Sarr's on the ball, he's a bit more, I wouldn't say clunky, but he's not as refined. He's a bit more raw on the ball, if that makes sense. So maybe that's why he's opted for Bergvall in the team as a number 10. And maybe he's seen Bergvall as a 10 and he's going to continue to play him in that role. But yeah, that's just my thought on the whole 10 situation.
Yeah. Van der Ven's playing the left back and Paulinho centre back. That's how they have it in the Champions League, with Bergvall playing on the left, and Gray on the right.
That's maybe how he tweaked it, because remember we saw Bentancur dropping in between the two centre backs, and people were complaining about the ball progression. And I do remember against Doncaster, when Paulinho did play as a centre back, he did play a lot more vertically. He was playing a lot more forward passes. So maybe the thinking is behind it is that when we have possession, it's a back three, or it looks like a back three. When Van der Ven, Paulinho and Danso, they play as a three, and they let Romero push on a little bit further, and he does the overlapping. And then you've got the long throws, obviously, from Danso too. But I think in terms of possession, you're going to see Paulinho finding those forward balls and also carrying it as well. Because Romero, when he's on the ball, he's a man that likes to carry the ball and punch passes through the lines on the floor. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've noticed for Doncaster, we did see that a lot from Paulinho in the centre-back role. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this team lineup that's here, you could view it in different ways and different shapes and different forms. But he's certainly gone strong. From the 11 players that he selected, there's been 3 changes, isn't there? Because Tell's not in, Richarlison's in instead of Tell. Because
Tell's not in the Champions League.
Tell's not in the Champions League squad. So there's 3 changes from Sunday's game against Villa: 1 in defence, 1 in midfield, and 1 in attack. Chan, what are your thoughts now that you've seen the lineup as well? We've heard Dermot has got some views.
It's a strong lineup, what he said. It's a very strong lineup, Jose. It's a lineup which I think is capable of bringing home all 3 points, although, as I mentioned earlier, just avoiding defeat for me would be a big bonus for us on top of another run of fixtures we have coming up. And if you look at that bench, it is a strong bench. We have the likes of Kolo Muani, Javi Simons, Johnson, Jet Spence, and possibly even one of Scarlett or even Oluwasisi to call up the bench if and when it's required. But otherwise, I think that bench itself is an indication that we are sort of kind of threadbare at the moment. That lack of a creative outlet in midfield might be a bit of a worry. If Bergval isn't able to pull the strings and orchestrate an attack going forward, I really, really do hope that whoever comes off the bench, regardless if it's Javi Simons or Kolo Muani or even Johnson for that matter, I really do hope they do come off sooner rather than later. We've been saying this under Big Ange multiple occasions on the past 2 seasons, whereby the substitutions were made far, far, far too late to effect any sort of change, any sort of shift in momentum in our favor. We saw that again on Sunday against Villa. I thought the substitutions came a bit far too late, especially when we were 2-1 down, chasing the game. And and this is a big if things aren't going our way by halftime, I would rather the substitutions be made at halftime rather than at the hour mark with half an hour to go. Because when you do this away on your travels, there is that risk that not only would you not be able to affect proceedings, you might actually throw off our momentum, whatever sort of momentum we have forward. And yeah, that for me, I think would be the one thing to look out for. At what time will the substitutions be made, regardless of the scoreline, and to what effect will it have on our game? Having said that, I would still very much take a draw right there, right now, if it were offered to me. But, well, you never know. An away win on our travels would be a big, big, big bonus for us. Let's just hope no more injuries, no niggles, or even suspensions for that matter, because it's a long, long European campaign ahead of us. Having said that, as always, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Can I just add something?
Go on.
I've just noticed something. So, rather than looking at it as a 4-3-3, I think that he's gone for almost like a back three, as I said before, with Paulinho playing in between Danso and Van der Ven. And then I think what he's trying to do is, because they're playing with a back three as well, so I think he's trying to match up and tweak it man to man. So we got similar matchups. They've got a 3-2-4-1. So Gray, he's no longer playing right back. He's playing as a right-sided 8. And I think he's going to make Bergval play as a left-sided 8 as well to thicken up the midfield, because you noticed that against Villa, we were getting dominated in that central area. And so I think what he's doing now is he's trying to get the numbers centrally out. We'll see if it plays out. But I think centrally, I think he's trying to have the shape where we get on the ball and we dominate a little bit more in midfield, because a lot of fans have been bemoaning that we're not creating anything centrally. We're going down the sides a little bit too much and it's going horseshoe. But looking back at the team again, I think maybe with Gray playing the right side and Bergval playing the left side, that allows the width to come from Kudos and Odobert. Do you know what I mean? But I'll be interested to see if we do double width at times, meaning that Gray pushes down the right at times, just behind Kudos, and Bergval pushes down the left, just behind Odobert at times, to create double width if they try to congest the middle, if that makes sense. Because sometimes there's so many bodies in the middle, there's no space to play in. Football, you're trying to find a space and attack it. So it's just something I thought of real quick, but yeah.
So I'm going back to something you said earlier about we're away from home tonight. Europe, or doesn't matter where we are, we're away from home, and we are unbeaten. If you take penalties aside in the PSG game, because it was a 2-2 draw, if you take away the penalties and just look at the score result, we're unbeaten since the PSG game. We're unbeaten away from home. Mm-hmm. And our form has been better away from home than at home. So this is another away game. And quite possibly where another team has attacks you more, or has more or less the same kind of possession that you have, we probably stand a better chance. Other than when we're at home, we're expected to have the possession, we're expected to have the lion's share, and we haven't actually got the results at home, but we've got them away. So being away tonight, it could well be a benefit to us. The only thing that I'm looking for tonight, apart from the result, is I want us to play football where we're not passing ships in the night. Because I find that Tottenham, for at least the last 10 years, when it comes to cup competitions, whether it be in Europe or at home, and when we stick out and we change and we make changes to the team, although it's only 3 changes tonight, but sometimes when we change our team, quite a bit, we change 5 or 6 changes, it looks like the players haven't even played with each other before. They don't know each other, and there's not that link up play, and you haven't got them relationships on the pitch. So I'm hoping that today we see relationships on the pitch. That's my hope for tonight. But prior to any result, I want to see us build relationships on the pitch and not be passing ships in the night.
Just a quick one as well. Do you think like Thomas Frank is doing everything he can not to separate Paulinho and Bentancur? Because a lot of fans are complaining that he needs to take that handbrake off slightly. Do you know what I mean? And he somehow figured out a way to play both of those players in the same team. But like the one thing I will say is we do have quite a young squad in Archie Gray, obviously Odebert, Bergval. So those players are quite young, but I think Sarr as well on the bench. But we start with quite a young side on this bench. But the upside of that is that we're going to have a lot of energy. The stamina was going to be high. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of players that can get around the pitch. So if we lose the ball, there should be no reason why we can't come back and defend. At the same time, there should be no reason why the players can't break into the box, because I think that's been a bit of an issue at times when we're trying to cross the ball into the box. There's not enough bodies attacking the box. And then also, I think for me, I love Kudus. I love him. He's been my favorite player so far this season. And I think 1v1, he's been a revelation, because that's what we've been out screaming out for on the right-hand side. However, my caveat to my own point is sometimes I think he takes one touch too much at times, where he chops it onto his right, then chops it back onto his left. And then sometimes the other team gets all their bodies back into the box and they're able to defend, where sometimes you need that ball in early just to get to the back stick, or just to cross that ball, just to make sure they're unsettled, and to add a bit of unpredictability. Because there's times I like him cutting back. There's times when I do like him delaying it. Do you know what I mean? Because it confuses the player or the fullback and allows our players. But sometimes you just got to play it in first time, or link up with your player, take a touch, do a 1-2, a pass around the corner, disguise some of your crosses. Don't make it obvious that you're going to cross it. Run across the byline, do a cutback, like mix up your game a bit. So that's what I'm hoping to see from Kudus. Hopefully that instruction is there, that you've got a centre forward now in Richarlison. I think Richarlison's got to do a lot more, in my opinion, in that position. But I would like to see him fed like instantly. And if he messes up, then that's on Richarlison. Do you understand? Yeah. That's on him. But for me, like, there's nothing we can do right now about our strikers apart from Kolo Muani. He's obviously on the bench. We could see something slightly different in that position if Richarlison's not up to the job. But right now, I just want to see the strikers get more opportunities in front of goal, whether it be early in the head or tap-ins, or, because I don't think Richarlison's that type of player that creates for himself like some other strikers do.
Dermot, I'm looking at the bench, Dermot, and
yeah,
I'm looking at number 39, who's just come back from injury. In that, he's not starting tonight. He's not starting tonight again. How many minutes, or would you like to see him come on? And if so, how many minutes do you think we need to get out of him tonight?
I would have started him tonight, because I don't rate Richie at all. I think Richie he gives you nothing up front. He came on against Villa, and I know Kolo was a little bit not great either when he came on, but he's trying to get his match fitness off. I would like to give him a good half hour tonight, another half hour, maybe a 45-minute run tonight. One reason, he's used to playing French opponents. He's played in the French league. He's played Monaco before, so maybe it might go into our favor. But I'm sorry, Richie, he needs to be sold. He needs to go, because he doesn't offer us anything. Anyone that thinks that Richie can still offer us something, I am sorry. I respect your opinion so much, but I don't think he's the striker for us. We should never have bought him in the first place. I love his shithousery. Don't get me wrong. As a person, I love Richie as much as anyone. But as a footballer, he's more of a winger than he is a striker. When he played for Everton, he played more times on the wing, on the left wing for Everton. And we overpaid for him. But I think even Colo itself, I just don't think we have strikers up there. I just don't know why we didn't keep Lancashire and give him a go. Because, or Lancashire or Dean Scarlett, give them a run. Because we've been boosting these young lads, young strikers for years, perfecting them, sending them out on loan, getting them game times. Well, why not use them? Why not put them up there and use them? And I think as a failure as a club, we've let these young players down. We've ruined them. We've sent Mikey Moore out on loan to Rangers. As soon as that started turning toxic, you should have brought him straight back and involve him within the first team as a squad player and give him minutes. We've got these youngsters that are good enough. Use them. Because the likes of Richarlison and Odegaard, I know Odegaard's only 19, but, you know, they should be shown some, even Odegaard should be shown some sign of ability to cross a ball. When he can run at players, but his end product is no good. He needs to learn to cross the ball. And I just think we have players out on loan that will do a better job than the players we've got currently in the squad. But yeah, Colo, give him 45 minutes tonight. He may turn out to be a great loan, but I just think we could have done so much better. And again, a transfer window on that part of the team, they've really let us down.
So in an ideal world, and I'm going to ask all three of you, in an ideal world, if everybody was fit, apart from the obvious Kulu and Maddison being out long-term injuries, although I don't know how far Dragusin is from coming back, in an ideal world, who would be, if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1, who's going to be the 3-1? In an ideal world, who would you favouritize as your 3-1?
Go on, Chan. I'll let Chan answer.
Chang, striker and the three behind the striker, if they were all fit and available, 100% fit and available, not Kudus and not Kulu and not Maddison. Who would your front four be? So left, centre, right, and up front.
The left would definitely be either one of Odegaard, or possibly even Tell, assuming both of them can excel at that left. The centre would definitely be a Kolo Muani, because I still rate him, even though we haven't seen the best of him yet in Lily White. I actually rate Kolo Muani a lot higher than I do Solanke or even Richarlison. So Kolo Muani for me up front. The right, I think, is Kudus all day long. I think that's without debate. If anything, of all those four positions, I think Kudus is the one that's nailed on to be on the right. And if we can get the Xavi Simons that we've seen at Red Bull Leipzig over the past seasons before he joined us this summer, then for me, Simons would be the ideal center attacking midfielder, the number 10. But yeah, that would be my top four for you, Jose. Either one of Odegaard or Tsel on the left, Kolo Muani up front, Kudus, as I mentioned earlier, on the right, and Xavi Simons as the 10. Having said that, back to you, Senel Garcia.
Dermot, who would, if they're all fit, who's your front four, mate?
I put Solanke up front straight off. That's a no-brainer. I don't think Xavi's a 10. I think Xavi's more of a winger. I think he looks more comfortable on the wing than he does in the 10. If you look at the games where he has had an impact in the game, they've all come off the left side of the pitch. Against Villa, he came when he had when he was playing the better part in the game, it came off when he drifted left. So Xavi on the left, Kudus on the right. And then is that including Maddison and Colo?
No, they're the only two. No, because them two are long term. So if everyone else was 100% fit, but them two are long term.
I put Papa Sarr in that 10 role because I think he's been quite effective there, even all through pre-season and the start of the season. I know he's had a slight knock, and they're trying not, and I think he got a slight knock on international duty that's why I don't think he's been starting. But that'd be my 4 then, Jose.
And for you, Ash?
Yeah, no, I'd probably agree with Shang. Probably stick with that. It's a toss-up because I haven't seen Moani in the Premiership. That's the only thing. So I don't know if Serie A is giving me a false reading, because when he was at Juventus, he came and he banged straight away. He got like 4 and 4, and he was a threat. And the difference between Moani, from what I've seen, and Solanke is Moani can run in behind, where Solanke is good at, the hold-up play, dropping into that kind of pocket, into that 10 role, and then he kind of gets into the box. He's not as nasty for a centre forward. Like you need that kind of killer instinct about you as a number 9. Haven't quite seen that. Obviously, he scored 19 goals for Bournemouth, so we're hoping that happens at Spurs. But for the first season that he had at Tottenham, I that's what I was thinking. He sometimes is slow to kind of shoot as well, to pull the trigger, to sort his feet out, and then sometimes the keeper, you don't want your keeper to be set. So a lot of goals I'm seeing, like the keepers aren't ready yet, and they shoot. Even against us, where Vicario, everyone's blaming Vicario for that goal against Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers hits it early and catches Vicario off guard, and he's not able to shift his feet quickly because there's hardly any backlift. That's what I don't see from Solanke at times. Like Kane used to do it. Kane used to shoot through defenders' legs, so the keeper's not set yet. Boom. And you're like, the keeper should be saving that. No, it's because he's hit it early. He's taking that early. So those are the type of critiques I'm saying for Solanke. Solanke at Bournemouth, though, I've seen him have near post finishes, like box finishes inside the 6-yard box, headers. Do you know what I mean? But for some reason, that hasn't transferred onto us. But Moani, aerially, I've seen him be a threat in Serie A. PSG had a stint where it wasn't quite working for him. So I'm not sure how it's going to play out for us in the Premier League. But the fact that he's alone and the fact that we're looking for another striker tells me a lot. Do you understand? We've been linked to Ivan Toney, and he's a bit more ruthless in front of goal, in my opinion. He's got more of that kind of that needle about him, if that makes sense. That you might whisper in the defender's ear, it's like, I've got your mum around the corner. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what you kind of need in football. Wind up your centre half, like get in their mind. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've seen players do it to our players. I've seen opposition players do it to our players. Do you know what I'm saying? Romero's really good at it. He's really good at winding players up. Richarlison, to some extent, he was good at that. Do you know what I mean? But again, with Richarlison, the difference is he hasn't got that killer. He's not a centre forward like Dermot was saying. He was played when Calvert-Lewin came in the side. Straight away, Richarlison would be pushed out to the left. So I don't know if he's a natural striker, in my opinion. But yeah, my forward line would have to be, I wouldn't say Tel, I would say Odegaard at the moment, just off the back of form. Even on the French under 21s, he got like 4 goals and 2 assists in the last couple games, sorry. And Tel got 2 goals, but one of the assists was from Odegaard. So I'm edging Odegaard at the moment, and obviously he's had a season longer in the Premier League than what Tel's had. So that's the reason why he's a bit more ahead, in my opinion. So I'd say Odegaard on the left. I'd say for me, Xavi, when he has played on the left, I don't know. He just doesn't look like he's got enough power in the Premiership to burst past and separate from a fullback, if that makes sense, on that left-hand side. That's why I don't consider him as a winger. Even if he does beat the player, he hasn't got a sustained level of pace or power to keep going past the player. But he is good at ball carrying, and he naturally drifts to the left, a bit like what Maddison does. So receives the ball on the left, gets on the half turn, and then he can drive at a player. And he's got good feet, so he's quite quick. Then he finds a foot. Then he finds a pass. So it's good combination play. That's what I see from a player like Xavi, in my opinion. So that's why I think he's better as a left 8/10. He's not a full 10, if that makes sense. And he's still got developing to do. And I think that's what the Cochrane and also Frank said to him. And that's the reason why he came to us, because he liked the honesty to say, you know what, he needs some developing. This is what you need to work on. That's what you need to work on. He was impressed by that. And so he's a young man. He's 22. His game can still go up a level. But yeah, kudos speaks for itself. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. But that would be my ideal front line at the moment. We're not too far off that. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's always thinking or looking for who's the next player we need to go for. I think Frank can do well with the current team that he has. He just needs to tweak a few things. We're only 10 to 12 games into the season. And I think attacking patterns of play are the last bits to come. I think he's working on a lot of out of possession play, in my opinion. He's working on when we don't have the ball, how do we get back? How do we look in our shape? And the intensity and how we press the keeper, for example, the angles, etc. He's working on that side. That's not pretty. Fans don't want to hear that. Do you know what I mean? We want to see us dominate teams, us, peppering the goal, attacking transitions, etc. But yeah, that's just my opinion, bro.
Mm-hmm. So again, I've only seen Moani from afar. I saw Moani play for France. I've seen him play for PSG in his early days. Watched him at Juventus, and there is something about him. He's got that something, but it's whether that translates into the Premiership or not. If it was to translate into the Premiership, quite quickly, I have to add, because you don't have time to breathe in the Premiership. But if he could transition quite quickly into Premiership football, then he would be one of my four for definite starting four. In the three and the one up front. What I'd like to see more from my three, Kudos is stuck. Kudos is on the right. He's stuck. Kudos ain't coming into the centre hardly, and he's not going on the left. The only time he goes on the left is if he's taking a free kick and it's to show you to whip it in. To cross it deeper. That's the only time he's coming on the left. So the only chance that you've got is that whoever plays in your 10 and whoever plays in your left wing role or the left side they're the ones that interchange, right? And up front, yeah, we need someone. We need a striker. On Sunday against Villa, we sorely needed a striker. We sorely needed a striker. And Odegaard, I've seen Odegaard now 3 times at Tottenham this season now, and all 3 times I've seen him, he gets the ball, he runs down, he goes to attack a player. Well, you think he's going to go and attack a player, reaches the last third, and I'm talking maybe 5 yards before the penalty box, and he then recycles the ball backwards. On Sunday, he only took Matty Cash on once, and that was in the second half. Once only did he take Matty Cash on one-on-one, trying to get past him. So it's kind of weird because we're loaded on the right where Kudos gets double and triple banked because Kudos wants to go inside and outside and wants to take his man on. Where on the other side, we're imbalanced because we're not doing that. Whoever plays on the left will find themselves loads of space because everyone's double and triple marking Kudos. So when we had the switch ball on Sunday, Odegaard had so much space. So anybody that plays on the left, because everyone's going for Kudos, there's always going to be space on that left-hand side. And I'm hoping that we can start exploiting it. If not tonight, in the foreseeable, we can start exploiting what we do down on the left-hand side.
I just think, and Dermot, you can come on this as well, but I just think on Sunday specifically against Villa, yes, Odegaard was 1v1 with Cash and we had a lot of space and free time. I felt that we were lacking the overlap and run from the fullback in terms of maybe your doggy. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes what I saw was Xavi Simons was a lot centrally. He was a lot on the right-hand side as well. And I was surprised that Xavi didn't come over to the left because I think on our left-hand side, we tend to build a bit more with a few more bodies. We try to overload it where we outnumber the opposition's team, So if they've got 3 players, we'd have 4. Do you know what I mean? And we do quick rondos to kind of move up the pitch to create more opportunities. Beside of the overloads, I thought like Spence, if he overlapped, that would allow Odegaard to go inside a lot more. In the first half, he did get that shot off when he didn't take him on, but he created separation where he could cut inside. He got a shot off and it was saved by Martinez from Aston Villa. But generally, I think You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you too much. I think he needs to be a lot more braver. He needs a lot more strength, and that will come as he gets older, because I think he's 20 years old. But the problem is at Spurs, you don't have that time to develop, because we want things right now. As a fans, we've been patient. We're trying to stay in the Champions League. We're not trying to come out. And so the level that you need to be in that left-hand side, Odebert's not quite there. Same with Tell. Do you understand? But yeah, I'm talking quite a lot. So Dermot, what do you think, man?
Yeah, look, I don't rate Odebear. I really don't. I think he's great at going forward. I love that. I wish Johnson would do that. I wish Johnson would attack his man like Odebear does. And that's what I love about him. He's exciting. He'd get you off the edge of your seat, because you want wingers like that. But his end product is not good enough. He should be able to cross the ball. And again, it's down to this falls down to recruitment of a long period at Tottenham under Daniel Levy, and I know he's left, but under his reign, that the recruitment of players that we've brought into this football club have not been good enough. If you want, you look, we've only got one decent player, Kudos. If Kudos doesn't spark, our front line doesn't spark at all. And then it goes down to the midfield. I mean, who scored a goal on Sunday? Bentancur. Who set it up? Palunia. Do you know? You got Mickey van der Ven coming out, and after the game, we're doing our job. Why aren't the attackers doing theirs? And he's right to say that. He's right to call out the attackers. I just think it's coming back to bite us of years of mistransfer of buying in not the right players. Going down this youth policy, going to buy an Odebear from Burnley. Well, why not go and get a decent left winger? Pay the money and get a decent left winger who can run at a man, put a cross in, and change a game. We slightly changed. Sorry.
You're going. No, sorry. No, I thought you finished. Carry on.
No, I was just very quickly. I was just gonna say, because I have to go in a minute to start my own watch along. But just very point. If we had a decent left winger, and there's somebody to match with Kudos and Xavi, you may see better Xavi, because decent footballers talk to each other. I remember as a kid watching Glenn Hoddle and Ozzy Ardiles play together. Glenn Hoddle's always said, the first thing he said to his dad when they put Ozzy and Ricky, thank God somebody speaks football, but somebody's on his wavelength. You got Kudos and Simmons, nobody's on their wavelength. The other players are not on the same planet as theirs. You buy a decent left winger, you buy a decent striker, you got Kulu and Madison coming back. What a front line we'll have. But we need to spend money. It's years of mismanagement on the transfer side, where this is now coming back to bite us on the arse. Odebear, Tell, Richarlison, not good enough. Not good enough, one iota.
Sorry, can I just say, Dermot, I've put your Dermot's
thank you so much, man.
Link there for everybody. If you want to go and support Dermot, please do, over at THFC Till We Die. Dermot, it's about that time of the show that we normally ask the question, because you've got to go. You're going to get first dibs, but everyone in the crowd, everyone watching, give us your prediction for tonight's score, please. And if you want to go a bit further and put a bit of cream on top, tell us who the scorers will be.
I'm going. Look, I'm on Dave's quite a lot, and normally on my own channel, I'm quite delusional with my score line. So you should go for 3-0 and 4-0. Do you know what? I'm being a bit more normal this season for some reason. It doesn't sit well with me, so I'm being normal. I'm going for a 2-0 win tonight, and I think the scorers will be. I actually think it'll be Bergvall and Van der Ven from a corner.
Bergvall and Van der Ven from a corner. 2-0. Dermot's going for a 0-2 victory tonight for Tottenham Hotspur. What are you people in the crowd saying? Dermot, thank you very much. Because I know that you've got to shoot. So
thank you again. Such an honour to be on with Ash and Mr. Chan up there, and you, Jose, and also being on We Are Tottenham TV. Thank you so much. I really enjoy coming on here.
Thank you very much. So give us your scores, please, people. Give us your scores. Chang, I'm going to go to you next. Right. What's your score predictions tonight, Chang?
I was trying to come up with a diplomatic and neutral scoreline, but you know what? It's too early on a Thursday morning here in Southeast Asia to go for anything but a Spurs win. And that's exactly what.
Ooh, have we lost Chang?
He was going to say 3-0.
We might have lost Chang.
He was going to say 3-0, bro.
All right, we might have lost Chang. So what I'll do before I go to you, Ash, I'm going to take some scores from some of the other people here at the moment, and then I'll come to you. We have got XD Wen has gone for 1-1 with kudos to score. Joe Boy has gone 1-1 and Lolo to score. Spencer Peel says it's going to be 2-0 to Monaco. Avers again says 2-1 Palinha and Bergvall. Samuel Bonatwum says 2-2, but if Kuda scores, it will be 4-2. Solar Fide is going for a 0-4 victory to Tottenham. X Art says 3-1 Spurs to win. Arul says 1-0 to Monaco. T Super says 2-1 to Spurs with Richie and Johnson. Crees is on a 2-1 to Monaco. Bentancur will pass sideways, the whole match guaranteed. Darren Nelson has gone for 1-1. Yido has gone for 2-0 to Tottenham. Denzel says, in honour of Jimbo not being here, I'm saying 9-2 win to Tottenham. Ronnie's going for a 0-0 draw for Ronnie. Arch 0610 is going for a 3-2 win. Falani Dumazaweni is going for a Spurs 3-0 win. And Chris Tadari is going for a 2-2 draw.
Big up, chat. Big up, chat.
Gons Football is going 3-1 to Spurs. Alumna Infractable says 3-2 Bergvall, Xavi, Van der Ven. And Ollie James says 1-0 to Tottenham with Archie Gray. Ash,
yes,
your scores, mate.
Big up. Listen, there's so much I wanted to address there because they said a lot. And before I get to my score, I just got to speak on it real quick because we've got 3 minutes left. And I just want to say, in terms of the recruitment that Dermot was talking about, I think they went for a youth-centric model, which was a bit too heavy. And Ange, back at the time, admitted that, and Langer, they both admitted that they got it wrong. And that was costly, and that really costed our season. And it's actually affecting us going forward at the moment. However, I do think in the right environment, some of these players will thrive if we do add the necessary quality, because I think we've changed tactics where we're now going for Prem proven ready now players. And I think Frank's specifically asked for that as well. Hence why we're seeing two of our best players, which are Paulina and Kudos. And those are the type of players that will have a massive effect, in my opinion, in this game. And that will stop us from playing sideways, and we'll play a lot more vertical in this game. I'm going for 2-1, in my opinion. 2-1, because I'm going to be positive about Spurs. I think we've gone a lot more attacking. I think Frank's switched it up, in my opinion. And we'll see. We'll see how we appear when we're in possession.
And just at the bottom there, you can see Ash's link to Spurs Kings TV. The links are also in the description of the show. So Ash has gone 2-1. Dermot's gone 2-0. Chang, you were just about to give the score. We both had a guess at what you said. What was your score?
I apologize earlier for the cut in my internet. Yeah, I was going for a 1-0 away win. And I would really love no one else other than Richarlison to get our match-winning goal, be it from a penalty, be it a tap-in, a deflected shot, whatever you need to do, Richarlison. Give us some of that proo magic away on our travels at Amsterdam. I am going to stick with my 1-0 away win prediction. And if there were to be any goal scorers, please let it be Richarlison, failing which I would very much love to see Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons to come off the bench and get his first ever competitive goal in Lily White, or possibly even one of maybe say Bergvall or who maybe
Mwani.
But yeah, Mwani. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Ashmatic. Yeah, thank you so much, Ash. I really needed that as well. Yeah, I mean, if Richarlison isn't going to get the goal, then if Moani is coming on for him at halftime, then yeah, Moani then to also, much like Simons, get his first ever Spurs goal in Lily White. Having said that, thank you very much, Jose, for having me back on this pre-match pump up. It's always such an honor and a pleasure to be on the pre-match pump up with you or Miss Kate and Mr. Jimbo. To Mr. Ashmatic, thank you so much for being here with us. It's really an honor as well to be on the same show with you, and also to Mr. Dermotron, who is now doing his pre-match pump up. Thank you so much for being with us, and last but not least, to all who's still watching, thank you so very much for sticking up with us this late Wednesday night. Hope you have yourselves a fantastic match ahead. Come on, you Spurs, and it's Chang over and out from Southeast Asia.
I've put the links for everyone in the chat, but they are on the description. Just to say that whilst we've been talking, you've got William Angle has gone for 2-0 for Spurs. Cooties Rees 1995 says 1-1. It'll be a tight game. Will says it'll be 3-1 to Spurs. Michael Prolux 3-2 to Spurs. Rio Manwaring says 8-0 to Spurs. Scribble Scrabble says 2-1 to Spurs. Ezaz Ahmed is saying 2-1 to Spurs. And we've got Patrick O'Donnell says it's 0-2 to Monaco. So 2-0 to Monaco. And Crees says it's 1:30 in the morning in Vietnam. I think it's 2:30 in the morning where Chang is as well. But yeah, we from all over the world watching. Thank you very much for your commitment, whether it be the morning, your afternoon, or your evening. And just before we go, I'm going to go in. Crees has come in. Sorry, Goodwig Tiego's come in with a 4-0 to Monaco. And Casey Casolino says 2-0 to Spurs. I'm going to go for, and sorry, this Ishili says 2-2 draw. I'm going to go for, I always back Tottenham to win, and I'm going to have to go for it tonight. I don't think it'll be an easy game. It'll be tough, but we're on the road. We've got better results on the road. So I'm hanging out for Tottenham to win 2-1. So there you've got it. And it's a 10:30 at night in Tbilisi for Illumina Infractable. It's an 11:30 p.m. in Pakistan for Freeman Chance. And it's a 12:30 in India for Arul. There you go. I've managed to shout out all the people that we've got throughout the world watching us. Look, thank you very much, everyone, very much for watching. If you would like to be so kind as to hit the like button on your way out, that would be amazing for the channel. And thank you all. And sorry, I've just got XD Wen says it's 3 in the morning where he's at. T Super says it's 1:30 in the afternoon in beautiful Chicago, USA. We've got people in here from South Africa. It's 8:39 in Namibia. We have got a worldwide support. Thank you everyone so much for watching. And as always, it's come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs. Let's go.